All right, sorry. So my stat of the day was on Finau was that he won the Puerto Rico Open a few years back for his only PGA Tour win, if you can believe that. He's got like 8 top fives in majors. He's got one PGA Tour win, and it was at a non-continental U.S. event. Wins the Puerto Rico Open, and he now joins a group of guys in the history of that event. No Puerto Rico Open winner has ever won on the PGA Tour again, ever.
Interesting. That is a great stat. I remember you telling me that before. That's hilarious that you say that because my top play of this range is Viktor Hovland. And didn't he just win the Puerto Rico Open? And that's his only win?
Yeah, he just won the Puerto Rico. Yeah. So, again, these guys are playing against golf's version of the Curse of the Bambino.
Man, that makes me nervous. I really like the Finau Hovland combo this week, but that's just a bunch of losers, if you ask me. Might as well put Rob Bonenberger in there myself.
No, listen, I'll make a point about it.
We're losing you again there, Wildman. We're losing you again.
I said, you are a loser. There's no debating that. but my point on Finau is just he's at 8,800, so he doesn't have to win. He was in a lot of lineups that were in contention at 555 at the PGA because he was right there, and he's had historical. He's just coming off a runner-up at the Masters or Dodger one. He's there, especially in big events. He plays well everywhere too. He plays well at the Open Championship. That is.
The Open Championship.
I'm all in Finau this week.
Yeah, I love Tony Finau. I love it. I love it. It's because you want to be long at this course, right? You got to focus on long irons and distance here. So Finau is just a little longer player, which led me into Viktor Hovland. If you need irons and long irons and driving the ball long, Viktor Hovland. He's young. He's ready. He wants to prove that he is a champion, that he is capable of contending with the big guys. And I think this is an opportunity where, as if Dustin Johnson's already in third place and doesn't really care about the tournament, Viktor Hovland has a lot to prove. Yeah. That's just my take on Viktor Hovland. I just think he's at a great price. I expected him to be around Finau, to be honest with you, in Matsuyama. So I think 8,200 is a good spot. So now that we hit the 8K range, it's dropped down to the 7K. Kind of just lightly go over this one. This is an important range because you usually end up around $7,100 to $7,300, it seems. Answer, Woodland. The top of the board is really where you get these strong players, and I feel like once you get to about 7,600, it drops off, maybe even 74. You get like Varner, Palmer, On, Mickelson, Henley, Poulter, Hadwin, Neiman. I just think those guys will be low owned. Is there anybody specifically out of this range that you like?
This is a really tough range. I don't like Spieth. I'll start there.
Well, you can just tune into last episode, and we'll end it there with Jordan Spieth.
Yeah. So you talked about length off the tee. In fact, you described Hovland. He likes it long. He hits it long. He strokes it long.
Just firm player.
A lot of long out of Hovland. Listen, it definitely gives you an advantage, but that's not to say that other guys just aren't going to play well and hit it down the fairway and hit greens and make putts. So, everybody's in contention here. The longer hitters might have an advantage in certain situations, but that's about all I'd give them. You still got Paul Casey's and Kevin Na's and those kinds of guys that have had good finishes at this course. I like the longer hitters, but I certainly wouldn't necessarily go all bombers. But one guy that's really interesting to me is lefty Mickelson.
Phil Mickelson. What's his price?
Yeah,
there he is, 7,300.
He's 7,300. Okay, he T6'd here in 2017 at the Dell.
I can pull that up here. That is true. Nailed it.
He's coming off a second at the FedEx St. Jude. He made the cut at the PGA. He's right on the bubble in the FedEx Cup standings. As a matter of fact, he is, I think, like 73rd or something. So he makes the cut and he's moving on. I don't know. I like the story, and I think he's 67th, excuse me, in the FedEx Cup. So got to make the cut.
I like that take a lot. So while we're talking about like who's kind of needing to play to get in, I don't know if you have a list with you, but can you just name some big, like, I don't know, some key names that are going to try to maybe have to play well this week to get in?
Yeah, and again, you're probably not going to have a ton of movement unless a guy like really low in the standings goes top 5. But on the very inside of the bubble, you got Paul Casey, you got Doc Redman, your boy.
Yeah, I just Doc Redman, man. I just always miss on him. I've always been on him, and every time I play him, he doesn't get it done, and then I fade him and he T3s. Last time I faded him was the where he played. Really, he was like the first round leader at the Rocket Mortgage, I think, or the Travelers. I faded him that week too, and then I think I played him at the Memorial and he missed the cut. But anyways, back to Doc Redman.
Tiger probably needs to make the cut. He might get in with a missed cut, but he probably wants to make the cut. Kuchar, Charles Howell, Bubba, Phil, Brian Harmon, Xinjiang Zhang is 70th right now.
Xinjiang Zhang.
Seth Straka is the bubble boy right now. And then right outside, this is where it gets more interesting. You got Alex Noren at 78. You got Reedy at 83rd. Poulter at 85th. Ricky at 88. Tommy Fleetwood at 89th.
Wow, Ricky Fowler. That's interesting, man.
Yeah, you got Ryan Moore's 96. Koepka's 97. Snedeker 98. Oosthuizen in 99. Spieth 100.
So that's a great list of guys right there. If you just want to dig deeper, if anyone's listening, just those are guys that need to win. And if you're in between one of the like Fowler and Woodland or something, I would pick Fowler in this case. He has more to play for. And yes, there can be pressure, but these golfers don't feel pressure. Not a lot of them. They usually come up to play. So that's just my take. You don't want to only focus on these guys because they have something to win, but if it becomes between 2 or 3 players, I would choose the guy that needs to win.
Yeah, and those are the guys I think honestly that you're going to need to top 5 it. Maybe even top 3 it. Patrick Reed coming into this event last year won it, and he went from 50th to 2nd. Okay, Answer, who runner-upped it, went from 67th to 8th.
So there you go. These guys are still in it.
Yeah, Harold Varner. So here's a great one, actually. Harold Varner was 102nd in the FedEx Cup, took 3rd, and only moved up to 29th. So, you're gonna have to play really well.
One of those guys is gonna do it. One of those guys you named will do it.
One of them probably is. Here's another one, though. Spieth was 69th and moved up to 44th. Now, remember, you only have to get inside the top 70 here. So I'm just trying to give you some big movers who finished at the top to show you how many spots you can really move here. But, you're going to have to – Wyndham Clark was 90th. He finished T18. And got inside the bubble to 68. So
there you go. So you need like a top 20 for some of these guys.
Top 20 for sure. I think guys like Koepka, Oosthuizen, Spieth, you're looking for a top 10 here.
Yeah, that's a very interesting narrative. I think a lot. You got to really look into that this week, and I think a lot of people will overlook it. You said Alex Noren at 7,100. He's super interesting. A 3rd, a 9th, and a 22nd in his last 3. That guy was 15th in the world at one point. So I think that's definitely.
I think he honestly was top 10 in the world. I think he was as high as like 8th or 7th or 8th a few years ago.
All right. Yeah. Again, there's Denny McCarthy coming off a massive fantasy week with 117 points. He's always a play if you want to. I think he's more of a millionaire maker ticket, not a cash play. But last guy we're going to go over, I'm going to give this one to you, Wildman, as well. I know you love this guy. Do you know who I'm going to name already? He's not looking at the screen. Jason Kokrak. Any take on Jason Kokrak? Let me give you his last 6. I'll give you a 7th. He came in 3rd, but then he gets cut, 44th, cut, 15th.
Yeah. T12 here last year at the Northern Trust, that is.
Which is a different course.
Yeah, different course, but a playoff event nonetheless.
Liberty National Golf Course, something that a lot of people might make a mistake this week. Hopefully they do. Hopefully all these people come in here and look at the Northern Trust history and pick Adam Scott and, Jason Day.
They might. They might.
And they'll probably win. I should do it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the 6 listeners of this will get the bite. But other than that,
I wish we could actually see how many listeners we get. You probably can.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to break 10 this week.
Kokrak T24 here in 2018 at TPC Boston. And, he's a guy that, look, his stats are so simple, okay? He is a terrible putter. But my theory on bad putters is always just they're in position very, very often to get, even lukewarm with a putter and make it matter. Look at Denny McCarthy now. He's an awesome putter. But just, putting yourself in position, because he's a good iron player, too. But just getting yourself in position. Actually, those guys are completely opposite players. I mean, literally, they're exact opposites with the putter. They're like me, talking to a woman in a bar versus Brad Pitt talking to a woman in a bar.
Oh, geez, that's pretty bad.
It's not good.
I've seen it. I've witnessed that.
Dell, though, Kokrak made the cut. And so, again, I just, he's like 199th strokes gained putting on tour. But he has a bunch of top 15s, top 10s. He's in contention once or twice a year. He's a player people know on tour, and he's one of the worst putters. So that has something to do with his tee to green game, obviously. And I don't know.
Yeah,
he's nothing more than a flyer, though. I wouldn't take my wagon to him.
Good millionaire maker ticket if you're trying to make $500,000 off of $25. He's a good guy to pick. I'll give you one more take. I think Scott Stallings is a pretty good pick this week. Norlander, don't know what happened to him. He really fell apart there. He actually kind of scares me this week. I'm going to drop it down and go back to the bottom here. If you follow me on Twitter, then I tweeted about this guy a lot. And I'm going to go right back to him, Cameron Davis, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I know you're a Davis guy, and he does seem undervalued down there. What's your take?
I think he's undervalued.
Why can he do it again?
His iron. You want him at a longer course where you have to hit long irons. I always play Cameron Davis here. I just think he's extremely undervalued. He has 22, 19, and 21 birdies in his last 3. If you scroll all the way down to last time he kind of went on a heater. The website doesn't give me as much, but he went 37th, 27th, 8th, went cold, and now he's back to 12th, 32nd, 15th. But if you go on the app on your phone, you scroll down into January, he had about 6 or 7 good tournaments in a row. I was watching almost every shot of this guy, and you need him to be within 3 feet to feel comfortable, speaking of bad putters, but he was really getting him close. I like riding the wave on Cameron Davis this week.